Hello everyone. In this video we are going to review some important algebraic terms and then we're going to work out some examples using those terms that we just defined. So the first of these terms I'm going to talk about is variable. So a variable is defined as a symbol or a letter that is used to represent an unknown number. So a variable example could be x, y, z. I'd say typically most of the time x and y are the most popular variables to use. And these represent unknown numbers, and we'll see them a lot throughout algebra. Sometimes in a problem, the variable may not be defined, and you may have to come up with your own variable, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Another important term I want to talk about is a constant. So what are constants? Constants are values that never change. So they're just numbers. So numbers like 3, -1, even fractions are constants too. 3/4, even decimals too. So 1.7. That's another example. So putting these two things together creates what we call, and we can make these algebraic expressions. Algebraic expressions. So, algebraic expressions are a collection of variables and numbers under operations such as addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. They are mathematical phrases that can include numbers, variables, and those operation symbols that I just mentioned. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. 7 more than n, the difference of n and 7, and the product of 7 and n. So each of these three deal with three different operations. And the first one here, more than, deals with addition. So translating all of this, we can say 7 more than n, written this way. Because it says 7 more than n. Could I write it the other way? Yes. That's called the commutative property of addition, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. You can also check out the video I made for pre-algebra, and I'll drop a link below. The difference of n and 7. So difference deals with subtraction. Now what's different here, no pun intended, is that the order for subtraction matters. So the difference of n and 7, you can write it out verbatim as such, n minus 7, because there it's telling you the order. The difference of n and 7. What's the order from left to right? N followed by 7. Next one, the product of 7 and n. Product refers to multiplication. Bring this down just a bit here. So 7 times n. This is one way to write it. You can also write it as 7 times n, like this. It's not very common to write it this way. I'd say the majority of the time, this one here is better because there's not as much stuff to write out. So you can just write 7 and n as such like this. It just implies that they are being multiplied together. Let's look at a few more. This first one here says the quotient of n and 7. So quotient refers to division. And much like subtraction, the order there matters as well. So the quotient of n and 7 can be written just like in the subtraction way, in this case, as such. N and 7, performing that division. Now for these last two, we don't have a variable defined, so we're going to come up with our own. And you can use any letter to help you out with this problem. I'm going to use x just by default. 2 times a number plus 5. So 2 times my number x, which I defined, and then plus 5. Now remember that addition is commutative, so I can also write 5 plus 2x. 2x plus 5 is also acceptable. 8 less than 3 times a number. Now again, this refers to subtraction. So remember, we have to be careful what we write where. 8 less than 3 times a number. And I'll use y this time. Yep. So here I'm saying 3 times a number y minus 8, because this is what this translates to. 8 less than 3 times a number. And that's a little bit of a review of variables, constants, expressions, and there's much more to come, so stick around. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.